Happy Monday. Welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great one. We're going to try our best to make it even better. Tonight, we are breaking down all the hot topics everyone's talking about. We're discussing the latest in Trump's administration, from new tariffs on movie produced outside of the U.S. Trump wanted to rename existing holidays to the latest in the student loan forgiveness. Plus, the father of the 18-year-old who was fatally shot by police in Cincinnati has been charged with intentionally striking and killing a deputy with his car. And Beyonce being hit with a cease and desist amongst her new tour. All that much more. Reminder over Facebook, Blue Sky, and X. Of course, our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe, comment. We're loving your comments, loving your interactions, so please continue to do that. And today is Cinco de Mayo Day. And some of us have already celebrated. Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May, is the holiday that celebrates the date that the Mexican army's May 5th, 1862 victory over France at the Battle of the Puebla during the Franco-Mexico War. The relative minor holiday in Mexico is a huge holiday in the United States. Cinco de Mayo has evolved into a commemorative of the Mexican culture and heritage, particularly in areas where large Mexican American populations. So people are drinking margaritas, having their burritos, having their tacos, and they're celebrating. But remember why we're doing all this. But I'm more excited because our Linnea Love is back. Welcome back, Linnea.
Hi.
I know you've been very busy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, I'm sleepy, but
We got Chica and Linnea in one night. We got Brittany. So y'all ready for tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well,
let's do it.
Is, what is the last thing you did that you're proud of, Linnea?
I am proud of the fact that I'm betting on myself and I'm finally doing this book signing event at the end of
I saw that.
That's what
Tell us about that. Tell us about that if you don't mind.
So I initially wrote my first book during COVID. It was called Create Some Ish, a guide to creating with passion and purpose. That was during COVID.
Yeah.
Then fast forward to when I finally decided to leave that toxic job. Mm-hmm. I went in and revamped the book and made it pretty.
Yeah.
I did a brand shoot and all that good stuff for it, and
pictures look great.
Thank you. Yeah. Went in and and fixed it up and rewrote some stuff and then republished it, and people were just like, "You gonna do a book signing?" I was like, "I think about it," but at that time I was like, "No." And then everybody just kept saying, "You gonna do a book signing?" I was like, "I guess so."
Yeah.
I'm doing a book signing. Now I don't know what that looks like because I ain't never did it before, but yeah.
Yeah.
And she can't know I don't like asking people for help. So my cousin was so excited when I reached out to her and I asked her if she would be my event coordinator. And she's the first person that said all I needed to do was show up. Outside of us doing, what we're doing, the work up until that point. All I have to do that day, I ain't got to pick nobody up.
Yeah.
I drop nobody off. All I got to do is get my makeup done and get dressed and go to the venue and sign books.
That's awesome.
And talk and eat lots of cake because it's at a spot called Dessert Soiree. She gave me about Dessert Soiree. And I'm getting excited. And I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Congratulations. Listen, I was telling someone had to remind me, I'm working on this business situation, and someone told me, don't forget it's who you know. I was scared about reaching out to somebody that could potentially help me, and I reached out within 20 minutes. Absolutely. Are you free next week? We could talk. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You never know. Yeah. You never know. You're the
Did we lose Linnea?
I think so.
Okay. Huh? Oh, there you are. There you are. You say you never know. No, you're there. You're there now. You say you never.
Oh. Not with this 5G network. Come on, Xfinity.
All right. Well, congratulations, congratulations, and much success. Well deserved. I know you've been doing this for a while. You deserve all the goodness that comes from it. All right, Chike, what is the last thing you did that made you proud?
So, during my hiatus from the Stephen Knight show, one of the things that happened was my other employer was coveting me for a leadership role on our anesthesia team.
Mm,
And when it came down to the financial part, they didn't have the numbers right.
yeah,
The math wasn't mathing. And because the math wasn't mathing, I told them no thank you.
yeah.
And they revisited 3 different times with augmented matherization.
Mm-hmm.
The matherization still wasn't mathing. And so I told them no again. I've gotten so much that boy, accolades, respect, because I did not accept what was given to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was told by the vice president of the hospital that I should hold on because something is in store for me because they really want to work with me in a
Mhm.
larger capacity. So I'm proud of myself for that, holding my ground and putting 10 toes down and being firm on my stance about what it is that I want. Know your worth, people.
Knowing your
Know
worth.
your worth.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations. All right, Miss
Thank you.
Brittany, what about yourself?
I think mine's a little more personal, like as far as my personal life. I think that the last thing I was proud of was when I bought and sold my first home.
Mm,
It wasn't my forever home. So, as a single mom, I wasn't
yeah.
with my kid's father. I bought my own home, sat in it for 4 or 5 years, and then sold it. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and work towards purchasing like my forever home. I have some other things in the work. I want to sit for my certification at the end of the year
Yeah.
for leadership opportunities. And then, with my son transitioning to his adulthood,
Yeah.
I am pursuing other things in my career. I started trying to write a children's book about my dog. So I have a few other things. With some things closing, I have doors that I want to like step into. So
Well,
yeah.
congratulations to you. And listen, Linnea, that's your big sister. She has a girl son. She has a girl son. Yeah. For me, I think, right now I'm going,
Them boys are insane, girl. Don't even get me
she
started.
knows all about it. For me, I am actively pursuing something that I'll talk about later on, but I'm proud of myself for putting myself through the motion. Because I know even if this doesn't work out, all this is part of what's making me propel, in what I'm doing. So I'm grateful for that. But let us know, what is the last thing you did that made you proud of. Let us know on X or on Blue Sky, the Stephen Knight Show. All right, so hot topic. So in a post made on True Social, excuse me, Donald Trump promised to impose 100% tariffs on films produced outside the United States and brought into the country. Many countries currently offer financial incentives, such as tax credits, cash rebates, and grants to attract film productions, typically for projects where part of the film is shot abroad. Now, while there is a precedent in trade policies for considering U.S. content, it's unclear if films, particularly used in the United States, would be exempt from tariffs, which appears to a broad targets all foreign produced films. So typically, what they're saying is the reason why a lot of these films are produced outside of the country, they want to be authentic to the story. So if a film was shot in Italy, it's because that's where it took place. Chike, as you being one of our film producers as well as an actor, what are your thoughts on if Trump puts 100% tariffs on this?
You already know what I think about it.
I know.
Trash ass. Trash ass.
Yeah.
He's just finding another industry that he can tear apart and destroy and
Yeah.
wreck. Not that he could do all of that, but he will make it very hard for filmmakers to achieve the visions that they try to achieve with creating foreign films or shooting on location in foreign destinations because it's intricate to the storyline. Like I'm reviewing the movie Conclave.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of Conclave had to be filmed in Italy.
Yeah.
Whether they were actually there shooting or not, but you have to get the exterior shots of the Vatican, of Rome, you know, so to what degree? Like, where does it end? They
Yeah.
may not shoot on location, but they may do pickup shots in another country for the aesthetic of maybe an exterior or something.
Right.
How much does it bleed into it? Like 100%? Like, where does that go? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts on this? Like, if a movie is shot outside the USA to be authentic to the story, and now they're getting these tariffs, what are your thoughts on this? This will make everything more expensive. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think, we complain every week about it because I'm just like, you're taking all my whole fun away. I like to drink. I like Squid Games. I like all my
Yeah.
little foreign films on Netflix. And at this point, I'm gonna just start reading books. 'Cause he gonna start taxing paper next. So like, I'm just like, I'm just done.
Yeah. And Linnea, of course, you're an actress and a filmmaker. What are your thoughts on him putting tariffs on movies being produced outside the country?
Dumb.
Yeah.
It's not. Part of the reason why production companies go abroad is because they have more tax incentives, they have rebates, they get grants, and yada. There's more of a financial, gain when it comes to shooting abroad. Not
Right.
that you necessarily want to, but shooting in the U.S. is super expensive, and even with certain locations where you can, like Georgia, because there are amazing tax
Yeah.
incentives,
Yep.
amazing tax incentives. It's just so expensive, especially when you want to have like that metropolitan city feel like New York or
Mhm.
that LA feel. Those are also expensive to shoot in, I should say. Right now, New Jersey, from my understanding, New Jersey has is starting to form a partnership with Netflix.
Mm.
So that's an incentive. So Jersey is trying to, be a part of, we want to bring more things in and not take them out. Because
Right.
then you're messing with films that come out here domestically. But then if you're trying to impose that type of terror, those international countries can be like, we don't want your film.
Mm-hmm.
So how are these people going to make their money back if they can't even get across now because they're like, well, you want to make it hard for us, then unfortunately, everybody else has to suffer for this type of, decision being made. And I think that it's dumb.
Yeah.
And just like everything else that's going on, because it's not, it's not, it's dumb.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree. I think, again, people try to stay true to the story, the origin of the story. And also, again, like you said, for the tax credits and whatnot. It's like I posted this on social media on some posts and I got a lot of likes, I got some hate. It's like he wakes up every day. Who can I offend today? Who can I disrupt today? And I don't get it. Well, in his latest act of power, Trump is out renaming existing holidays. In a recent post on the True Social platform, he shared his latest plan. Trump mentioned that the country's allies were celebrating May 8th as Victory Day. Therefore, he announced his plan for May 8th in the U.S., saying, "We did more than any other country by far in producing victorious results in World War II. I hereby rename May 8th as Victory Day for World War II." It wasn't clear if he wants this day to become a federal holiday, but when it comes to November 11th, which is known as Veterans Day, Trump says that he will be known as Victory Day for World War I. He continues to say, "We won both wars. Nobody was close to us in terms of strength, bravery, and military brilliance, but we will never celebrate anything. he concluded that the country will start celebrating our victories again. Now, CNN noted that all existing federal holidays were created by acts of Congress. However, states were not required to stick to them. So this man, he seems to show that he doesn't care how. I saw an interview he did last night. He doesn't care what the Constitution says. He doesn't care how laws are created. He thinks that if he says it, it will happen. Brittany, what are your thoughts on him changing these holidays?
I hate when I have to go first. Eh, do I get it off? He gonna mandate we be off? Like, do
Right.
I get the vacation? Like, and is it a paid holiday if I work? And do we get like the discounts we get on better? I got so many questions. Like, you gonna give out like the sales and stuff on furniture, like Memorial Day and stuff? Like, now, if you incentivize me in that way, then shit, I'll celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we turning up like we do for Cinco de Mayo, then fine. Like, but you just telling me don't do nothing for me. Yeah, so.
GK, do we celebrate these holidays?
So there's these 4 things that are on a car, and they're called wheels. Why don't he just reinvent those?
Right.
We need a new one. We need a new kind of wheel. Do that. And then I'll start paying attention. Reinvent the wheel, brother. And then I can start paying attention. Everything else is nonsensical, and I'm not giving any energy to it.
You can call them rubber circles.
Right. Rubble circles. Linnea, what are your thoughts on all this?
The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Thank you.
I agree. Well, starting today, the federal government will resume collecting defaulted student loan payments through tax refunds, wage garnishments, and government benefits for the first time since the pandemic begun. This is what officials are announcing. So student loan collection had been paused since March 2020. Over 43 million borrowers and fewer than half have made regular payments, contributing to 1.6 trillion student debt. This is according to NBC. So, I know the Biden administration have been trying to forgive certain amounts based on your type of work, based on how much you made. But I saw the Trump administration say, you borrowed this money, you got to pay it back. Linnea, what are your thoughts on this?
So I wasn't a part of the group that got my loans forgiven.
Yeah.
And even if I was already paying on my student loans before they paused them.
Right.
But I was paying something that was affordable for me. And that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
They do not care about your livelihood. If and I'm using this as an example, if your rent is $1,500, they want at least half of that, which makes no sense because how are people going to survive and pay back a student loan? I think it's ridiculous. And this is what people wanted, right? You didn't want. First of all, we shouldn't even be paying for education, and a crappy education on top of that. But unfortunately, this is where we are, and I know that's specifically for people who are in default. But what do you do?
Yeah.
There was a plan in place to help you. Had VP Harris been elected to president, this wouldn't even be a discussion.
Right.
Because it probably would still be paused until they can figure out, and it goes by the type of job you had, how many payments you've made, and I think you had to have at least made up to 120 payments throughout the lifetime of the loan or whatever. So a lot of factors played into that, but people are getting what they voted for. And that's it.
And Chicky, I saw some of the pushback was like the PPP loans, they didn't get paid back. And a lot of people in Congress got those. Business owners got those. So why are we going so hard on student loans? What are your thoughts on this?
I think he's pulling money from any and everywhere he can.
Yeah.
And honestly, it sounds far-fetched, but I hear that he's trying to reopen Alcatraz. That could be where the people that don't pay their student loans go when they don't pay. So I'm joking, but I mean, we didn't imagine that he would do half the things that he's trying to do. We knew he was going to be horrible, but we just didn't know.
He said that when they asked him, will U.S. citizens be deported? I don't know. I have lawyers that they work up that.
And I'm sure they're trying to figure it out in some form, way, or fashion.
Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts?
I had my ass in a program like right before this day. I was like, let me lock in something, cause baby, I can't go to a country I don't know where I'm not from. So I'm afraid of being deported. I didn't know about Alcatraz,
Right.
but he shut down all this other stuff, and it just be like he's pulling like Chike said he's pulling water from a rock or whatever that saying is when you ain't got nothing to turn up, whatever it is, like a there's so many other places he could pull from. And then not to mention they saying they're saving all this money, but then what are they doing with it?
Right.
So you shut down the FDA, you're making people pay back all these loans, like, but people are still getting laid off of work. People are still feeling the inflation of groceries. Like, so where is the money y'all are saying y'all are saving us
Yeah.
In their
going?
pocket.
In their pocket.
So
Yeah.
I saw he was saying he was gonna pay people $5,000 if they had a baby. Like, is that true? Are we
And they said that's
is
nothing. That's nothing to raise.
and I'm just like, oh, I thought it was every year. It was like a one-time
No, it's
$5,000 you
per
go
child,
home,
per child. Yeah.
like one time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just confused. So
Yeah. It it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's like he's just winging it. You know what I mean? Just winging it. You know. But he tells that he's having the best president we've ever had. Well, listen, we'll take a break. When we come back, discuss the father of an 18-year-old fatally shot by police in Cincinnati, who has been charged with intentionally striking and killing a deputy by his car. Lady Gaga responds to threats outside of her free concert, and Beyonce is being hit with the cease and desist letter following her the start of her Cowboy Carter tour. Right back after this.